Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. The Gauteng online applications for learners that should be placed in grades 1 and 8 next year will open on the 15th of June. Now, concerns have been raised over the years as the system has been marred by several glitches. Let's get an update now, joined by Matome Chiloane, who's the Gauteng Education MEC. MEC, good afternoon. Thank you for your time. Despite the delays in eventually opening the system, the 2024 online applications are now set to open next month. What's led to some of the delays?
It's not necessarily there were some grave concerns that led to it. It was just to say that we needed to really ensure that and test the upgrades that we have done to the system, its efficiency. That's why it took some time. So we didn't really, it's not really it was a big issue, could I say. It was just the testing of the system so that we are comfortable that once we go live, then the system will be able to respond effectively. So that's the only thing that really was disturbing us to go earlier. But we are still within time and framework as planned.
In the past, there have been complaints about the system not being user-friendly and transparent for parents and guardians in choosing schools of their preferred choice. Are there any new changes, like perhaps what was really put forward was the option to allow parents to rank the schools from 1 to 5 based on their preferences? What are the new changes?
No. With that, it still remains the same. Remember, when a parent applies online, they choose schools from 1 to 5. And for us, we would assume that the first one is the one that you would most probably prefer. However, even number 5 is a school that you are comfortable if your child is taking that. That's our understanding as a department when we choose schools. So in terms of, so some parents, they assume that they just, when it comes to the 3rd or 4th or 5th school, they just choose any school. And they don't consider that it's a probability that their child might even end up in that school. So with that, the system remains the same. So that's why we always advise that choose schools that are within the feeders of your home address. That's where then you in terms of criteria, you are in criteria 1 of being accepted into that school.
So in terms of some of the new changes that you are working to bolster the system, what are some of those changes?
No, the capacity of the system. Currently now, the system can process up to 40,000 applications a minute. So we've got a very efficient system. So parents can apply anytime within that framework, and the capacity of the system is to handle that much. As well as the key changes that we have done is we're going to have a single process. Remember last year we had a 2-phase process where there were the first process for learners that were in public schools, in grade 7 in particular. We're given first a hand to apply. Then we open up the second process for learners that were not within the public education system, especially in Gauteng. So now we're just going to have one single approach where everybody from the 15th of June, everyone will be eligible to apply, because we realized that it was causing us a bit of. But beyond that, the system is efficient. We've run tests. We are comfortable that there will not be any form of glitches. And on the accountability that you've raised, the system allows us, even parents, to see how the role of application. So it's very transparent, and if it needs be, we can get to a point where parents can be able to see when will the application processed and what number they are in the queue. So the system is there. It's there. It's transparent, and it has greater accountability. It allows us greater accountability rather to parents, so that they do understand where they are in the queue based on who applied and the criteria thereof. So advisably, parents should target schools within the feeder zone of their home address. That is the best option that I'm saying to, I'm appealing to parents. They should trust us as the leaders of the system to ensure that wherever their child is, they will be able to get good quality education.
I also understand that as you're dealing with this process, there have been, your department has noted challenges when it comes to safety in Gauteng schools. What have you encountered?
We've got the report, we've done our own assessment, and we have 225 schools that are in high-risk areas. These are areas where there's a high crime rate and gangsterism and substance abuse, etc. So those schools generally get affected by such external factors, and we find that they find themselves into the schooling system. A case in point, we've lost a learner last week in a school in Orange Farm, Ahatuto, and it was learners fighting, one step, the other one passed on. So when we investigate closely, we found that it's related to gangsterism in and around the area. So we have set up a broad approach rather in intervention. So it's comprehensive, it includes all stakeholders in the law enforcement area, the community policing forum, the police, the new wardens that the Premier launched. And we also have safety committees in school. So it will also include in metros, they've got the metro police, they're also part of that stakeholders that will be doing work in ensuring that we search learners in those high-risk areas. We're going to have random search and seizures in those schools, providing extra security into those schools so that we really get those schools right in terms of safety for all learners.
And perhaps, MEC, just veering off the topic, I mean, it's still related, but we understand that the DA's raised concerns about your spokesperson, Steve Mabona, being driven around by VIP security at the expense of taxpayers' money. The parties also said that should it be found that he unduly benefited from the VIP security, he has to pay back the money to the department. What is the latest around that?
With that, at that time I was not in the department, but what I can confirm is that he was not. The information that I have is that it was his own personal vehicle, so it was not related to state resources in any way. So there's not really much that the DA is just there. We did respond. I remember that question was brought into the legislature. He was not in any way driven around with state resources, was not provided protection by the state in any way at the expense of the department for that matter. So that one I can confirm. So just the deal, maybe perhaps one member saw Steve had been driving around in a car that seemingly had some VIP security. I don't know, but where I'm sitting, I did check the part that was it the state vehicle, and it was found that it was his personal vehicle, and was not given security by the department.
Okay, so whatever threat in terms of security that may have been posed was a personal threat and not related really to his job.
I can't explain that. I was not there. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. Let's perhaps leave it there for now. Matome, Chiloane, the Gauteng Education MEC, speaking about the Gauteng 2024 online application, which is set to open next month.